In the mountains, just a 45-minute drive from Salt Lake City, is Park City, home for the next 10 days to America's biggest independent film festival. A wealth of feature-length films from 37 different countries will be shown. Everything from a documentary charting different lives in Kurdistan, to a romantic comedy set in Lebanon, to a film in which Daniel Radcliffe befriends a corpse, to a dramatization of President Obama's first date with his wife.
They put Jim into the back of their van. I didn't know if I was going to see him again.
One highly anticipated film is Jim, the James Foley story, a portrait of the American photojournalist beheaded by the so-called Islamic State in 2014. It was put together by director Brian Oakes, a childhood friend of Foley's.
This film is bittersweet. It's a film that I never would want to make.
Sundance was co-founded by Robert Redford more than 3 decades ago. It has developed an identifiable brand.
A typical Sundance film is really what a typical independent film is, something that doesn't deal like Hollywood with big special effects. It's usually more character-driven. It tends to cater to a more niche sensibility.
Why don't you let me tape you?
Doing what?
Films like Sex, Lies and Videotape in 1989 and Reservoir Dogs in 1992 put Sundance on the map. Every year, the festival seems to yield a hit. Last year, the film Brooklyn, a Best Picture contender in the current Oscars race, made its debut at Sundance. Hollywood stars are drawn to Sundance's focus on independent film.
I'm an American actress incredibly interested in independent film, and that is just the sort of quintessential place to be if that's your interest. So, no, I love Sundance.
For directors who found their films have been selected by the festival, it can be a heady experience. Sarah Giordino has made Kiki, which explores a subculture of LGBT youth that embraces dance.
I want the film to be seen by many, many people and many different audiences. And I think that Sundance can be the gateway for that. I don't see it as a commercial film, but I know I wanted a big audience because I think they deserve it.
But for all the people who consider Sundance a wondrous place to be, there are many challenges, mainly the struggles that filmmakers face in trying to make sure that their movies have an afterlife once they leave Sundance. It's something that people who've been to the festival in the past are only too familiar with.
There's lots of films that I've seen at Sundance and been a part of at Sundance that were only ever really shown at Sundance.
But brightening the outlook is the emergence of distribution opportunities away from traditional cinemas, namely internet streaming services.
Companies like Netflix and iTunes have dramatically changed the marketplace for independent film, and Sundance being the epicenter of American independent film, these companies have had a huge influence in the way that movies get out there in the world.
The festival has a big impact locally in Park City, where hordes of people descend on this winter ski resort.
Increases business, it drives business, it brings in more business.
It's great for restaurants, makes the community vibrant. I think it's a big positive.
How busy does it get?
Oh, it's packed. It's packed. Best not to be in your car. Best to be on foot.
With more than 120 feature-length films being shown over the next few days, festival goers will be busy. The range of films on offer should keep them anchored to reality, because even among the feature films, several of this year's Sundance stories touch on real issues, people and events.
I need you to go back there to prevent the assassination of John F. Kennedy.